What do you do if you have a mouse in your cupboard, wasps on your porch, a rat in your garage, or some other pest invading your space? Well, if you're an animal communicator, you can talk to them, but just asking them to leave almost never works. And I have a different approach. By the end of this video, you'll have 7 ways to navigate a pest solution, air quotes on pest, and have I hope, a different perspective on what's happening in the world around you and within you. Oh, I hope that's an intriguing little segue right there. If you are new to my channel, I am Dr. Cara. I'm a professional animal communicator. I'm the founder of the Animal Communicator Academy, and I am the new founding president of the International Professional Animal Communicators Association. My mission is to help all animal lovers become confident animal communicators so they can help their pets become a professional animal communicator or add animal communication to their current profession. And my vision, excuse me, is to have animal communicators in every home, in every veterinarian's office, in every animal rescue center and shelter, every dog training, every doggy day take care, every catio, cafe place, everywhere there's animals and people, I think there should be an animal communicator. So if you support this mission, then please like, subscribe, and hit the bell to be notified of all of my videos. And that way you can help me reach even more animal lovers and animal communicators. So let's dive into this question of what do we do when animals are pests, and just air quotes every time, right? So the reason I'm bringing this up is one of my Animal Communicator Academy students recently asked me what she should do about the pests in her home, and she was really upset about the situation. And my response, as is my response to most questions in the Animal Communicator Academy, was to really remind my students that there are always 2 responses to any challenges that we face. Number 1 is the goal line. What are we going to do? And number 2 is the soul line. What is coming up to be healed? And if we have any kind of an upset or a tightness, a constriction inside ourselves around a situation, then we know that there's something to be healed on the inside. That's how we know that our soul line work is coming up. Because we are divine beings living in a benevolent universe that is always looking out for our highest good and helping us to heal and grow, the soul line work always comes before the goal line work. If you do the goal line work first, like you just go and go, oh, I'm going to build a trap, or I'm going to move them, or I'm going to, respond in this way, what I'm going to do. If you do that first, the issue will keep coming back until you do the soul line work. So just assume if there's anything that's bugging you, got it? Then that there's some soul line work to do around that situation. And what that is anything that's upsetting you is material for your soul line work, for your inner work, for your personal work, for your upgrading your belief system. So pests or nuisances or dangerous insects or destructive insects or animals around our houses or our spaces really bring up a lot of practical, like, how do we manage our space issues, but also they bring up a lot of our inner issues as well. And so that's why my 7 steps start with understanding that this situation is bothering me. That means that I have some soul line work to do. I'm going to do my mindset work for myself first so that I am then I'm just in a different place. I'm more in alignment. When we're upset about something, we're usually resisting it or avoiding it, or questioning it or something like that, right? We're not happy about it. We're not in alignment with it. We're not congruent with it. And if we take action from that space, we're just perpetuating that energy into whatever we do. But when we clear ourselves, when we work on our mindset, when we do our soul line work, then we're coming into alignment with the situation and we can approach it differently. And one of the hallmarks of being triggered with a mindset situation is that we only see things in black and white. It's either good or bad, right or wrong. There's only one solution, right? So if you notice you're having that black and white kind of either or thinking, then know that you are triggered into an upset, and you absolutely, it's worth your time to do the mindset work for yourself. So these 7 steps I'm going to give you, number 1 is always to tap. So I use EFT tapping. It's just lightly tapping with your fingertips on these very specific acupressure points. It helps our energy system to reset. And it helps when we reset our energy system, we also reset our emotions and our thoughts, our physical system as well. So I always start, if I have a situation in my house where there's ants overrunning the kitchen or something like that, I always start by tapping on what the upset is, right? My son's afraid of spiders. So if he comes screaming out of his room, there's a spider, we're going to tap on that, right? We're going to tap on whatever that upset is. If I think that having ants in my kitchen makes me a bad person because I didn't keep my kitchen clean enough, I'm ashamed that I have ants in my kitchen, I'm going to tap on that shame, that judgment, that embarrassment, right? Oftentimes when we have other animals invading our space, animals that aren't part of our family, it's really showing us something about our boundaries. So if we have ants invading our kitchen, maybe we feel powerless somewhere else around boundaries. So it's always a good idea to look at the boundary issue around whoever the pest is, right? So clearing that is the first step. And I love tapping because it's fast, it's easy, it's always available. There's no gadgets. There's nobody else I have to call. I just start tapping on like, oh my gosh, this is terrible. I'm so embarrassed. I wish this would go away. I hate that this is happening. Whatever the truth of the situation is, just start narrating it out loud and start tapping on these acupressure points. And I have tons of other videos on EFT tapping. So if you don't know the points, just go look for one of my EFT videos. So that's number 1. The second thing that I do in my house when we have these challenging situations is to use animal communication to understand why those pests are there. This is like the fundamental rule for me of animal communication. All animal communication should start with first seeking to understand the other being. So if I'm going to communicate with ants or a mouse in a cupboard or a rat in the garage or wasps on my porch or I don't know, a snake on my dining room table, I'm going to say, why are you here? Hello, who are you? What's going on? How are you? Why are you here? Right? So understand why they're in your space, in that space. And maybe they have a really good reason. Maybe it's raining. Maybe they're attracted to something in your house. Maybe they are looking for a new home. Maybe they're a juvenile who just left the nest and they don't know where else to go. And then you can also ask, like, well, why does this place meet your needs? Why is this a good place for you? And then step number 3, and this has worked for me so well so many times, is ask them to find another place with the same qualities that they're looking for, right? So if they say, well, your garage has all these little cubbies that I can hide in, and it has a free supply of dog food I can nibble through the carton, then ask them if they would respect your boundaries, respect your space, respectfully let them know that this is your space. You want to keep it only for your family. You love and respect them, but you would like them to find another place. And I usually stop there, right? Because 9 times out of 10, those 3 steps work for me, and I very rarely have to go any farther. One thing about this is when you ask them to find another place, please talk to them about a timeline and respect their sovereignty. They are autonomous, sovereign, sentient beings. They know how long it will take them to find another place, or if they have some transition time. So don't just go, okay, get out of here now, but just ask them respectfully to find another place and respect whatever that timeline might be. And if you don't get a timeline from them, then ask for, just allow for some space, a reasonable amount of time, a few days. I don't know what that might be in your situation. If that doesn't work, I go to number 4. And these are not totally in order. Sometimes I go here early on. But number 4 is to look at the symbolic message of that animal. So I'm going to share 2 examples that hopefully will illustrate this principle and why it's so important. If we're living in a benevolent universe that is always supporting us in our healing and our growth, then everything that happens is an opportunity for us to heal and grow. No matter how scary or challenging or distasteful or upsetting it might be, there is always that opportunity in whatever situation we find ourselves in. And so several years ago, I had a wasp start to create a nest right in front of my front door. And at first I was like, okay, well, it's small, no big, but it started to grow, and then there started being more and more wasps coming in. And I had a conversation with a wasp in the animal wisdom circle not too long before that, well, a few months before that. And so from that conversation, I knew that wasps were representing symbolically leadership. And so I took that principle and I looked at my life like, where am I not really being a very good leader? Where am I being a weak leader or a soft leader or avoiding leadership? And I found my spot right away. And it was a very challenging situation, and I had to do some uncomfortable communicating in order to, not assert in an aggressive way, but in order to stand in my leadership, to assert my leadership and say, this is what's so for me, and this is what I need from this situation. And it was a very challenging situation, which it did get resolved, and the wasps disappeared from my porch. No kidding. I never asked them to leave. I never did anything else other than go, what are you here to show me as a symbol from the universe, as a symbol from my subconscious about something that needs to be healed inside of me so that I can grow and become a better version of me. And once I took care of that leadership piece, because that's what wasps represent to me, the energy just didn't match anymore. My energy didn't match their energy for whatever reason, and they moved on. It was crazy. I really, literally couldn't believe it. And it really, truly was within a couple of hours. Okay, example number 2 of the symbolic message of the animal is, this happened last year. I had a little spider in my sink. And I talked to it. I said, hi, how are you? Why are you here? I just really didn't get a message back. And I started brushing my teeth in the other bathroom so I didn't splash water on this little spider. And it stayed there for a couple of days. And so I got to the point of this, step number 4 of looking at the symbolic message. And I started looking at spiders as creators, spiders as web makers, spiders as predators, like all of these things. And I was talking to a friend about it, and she said, what if you're stuck in somebody else's web? And that's what really clicked for me. And I realized I was stuck in somebody else's web. I was playing somebody else's game. I wasn't in charge. And I felt like this person had really kind of concocted this weird nest in our relationship that just didn't feel right to me. And so I extricated myself from that relationship. I took that opportunity to reassess that relationship and the challenge that we were facing, the little bit of conflict that we had there. And I realized, like, oh, here's what I need to do. I just need to get out. I need to get my money back, and I need to move on. I need to extricate myself from this person's web. And that's what I did. And I came back that evening to brush my teeth, and the spider had moved on. So I hope you can start to see how, not that that spider is created to teach me a lesson and that's its whole life purpose. Not at all. That spider is just doing its own thing. But it's my opportunity to use that as a catalyst for my own healing. And then our energy interacts in a different kind of a way. And then my sink becomes my sink. And I don't want to hurt anybody when I'm brushing my teeth. And I need to brush my teeth. So looking at the symbolic message of the animal can be really, really helpful. And then let's talk about number 5, helping animals relocate. So this is another thing that I like to do. We have a lot of mosquitoes where I live, and we have a lot of those mosquito hawks. They look like kind of big spiders with wings, with long legs. Like daddy long legs might be another name for them. I'm not sure. But there's not a lot of mosquitoes inside my house, and sometimes these insects get inside my house. And so I will let them know, like, after doing all these things, hey, how are you? What are you doing here? What would be helpful for you? I'm going to help you relocate so that you have what you need and I have what I need. This is another place where you can really look what your boundaries are around your space, right? And be really clear about your boundaries. And you're allowed to have boundaries. You can have your own space. You can totally say, this is what's allowed in this space. Be in my backyard, be in my front yard, be in nature. But inside my house is not the place for you. That's my boundary. And you can do that with love. Love for yourself, love for the animal, and respect. Respect for yourself and respect for the animal. So I typically tell them what I'm going to do. I show them a picture of what I'm going to do. And I ask them to work with me to help them, because I want to help them get to a place where they can have all their needs met. And their needs are for sustenance are not going to be met inside my house, because we all have mosquitoes in the house because we have all our screens and everything. So those are kind of the ways that animal communication and the symbology of animals really, to me, work together. All of that is very fluid. If those techniques don't work, then we get on to number 6, which is using natural deterrents to make my house unwelcoming to other beings that I don't want in my house. So I will use coffee grounds. If I have ants coming in, I'll put coffee grounds there so they get the message like, nope, that's not a good place for us to go. There's other natural compounds that you can put around your house to deter different kinds of animals depending on what the species is. And that to me is a respectful way, again, of having boundaries. Oftentimes pests are about our boundaries, and it's okay to have boundaries. So if all of this doesn't work and the natural, like, hey, this is my wall, this is my deterrent, this is my boundary, that doesn't work, then very, very occasionally, and I honestly can't even think of a time where we've done this since I've been an adult, where we've had to resort to more aggressive or violent measures. I just literally can't think of a time when we've done that, because all of these steps have worked for us. So I'm hoping that this helps you see that we can live in harmony, we can have boundaries. We don't have to be aggressive, we don't have to be violent, we don't have to be against anybody. We can be for everybody, and we can find win-win solutions. Animal communication can be super, super helpful for that, as well as understanding the symbolism of the animal and how that might be playing out in your world. We're each our own little cosmic world, right? We're each our own universe with us at the center, and everything that happens is about us, but not in an egotistical or narcissistic way, but in a spiritual way, because we can use everything that happens to us to heal and grow and become even better versions of ourselves. And we can do it without losing our humanity, without losing our empathy, and without losing our sensitivity. We don't have to harden ourselves and be brutal with animals just because they're in a space that we're in. We can share that space. We can ask them to move. There's so many options, and now you have 7 steps to help you next time. I hope this was helpful, and if it was, let me know in the comments. Do you have a challenging situation with a pet? Are you going to try in order these 7 steps, or have you tried them? Let me know what's going on with you and the animals in your world. And I wish you all the best of luck with using these very loving, very effective methods for managing your space and your energy. And if you are not a confident animal communicator yet, then definitely consider joining me in the Animal Communicator Academy. It is the ultimate training for animal lovers who want to become confident animal communicators. And you can get more information at caragubbins.com. Thanks for joining me. Have a beautiful day and good luck with your pests. Bye, everybody.